Hey guys, this is Roger from Tree Life Tree Service, and I've watched quite a few videos on firewood processing. We've had quite a few different ways to split wood. We've kind of perfected one of the best ways to split wood for trees that you get off tree service jobs. But it always puzzled me how these people start a firewood business and they just have a few clients, and all of a sudden they show, they have a brand new skid steer, brand new tractor, 3-point hitch, brand new firewood processor, and then they're ordering all their logs to come in on a truck. So I just I don't want, I'm not trying to be negative, but like, listen, I've been cutting firewood and splitting firewood since I was like knee high to a grasshopper. I'm born in Ohio, raised in Ohio, and me and my father used to go out in the woods and cut down trees and cut down trees that were basically, that the neighbors wanted cut down, or if a tree fell somewhere, we would go get it, cut it up into firewood. So we would split firewood by hand with an axe and a maul and wedges up until I was probably, I don't know, probably 8th grade. And we finally got a log splitter, which was a godsend. And then we would split them. We'd split things that are, humongous, like, and then split them up small enough to put on the splitter, and then we would split enough to heat the stove. We had like 3 wood burning stoves in the house, and we had like a 4-bedroom house with a big den, big family room, and we had one in the basement where the incinerator used to be, replaced with the fireplace. A wood burning stove. We had a fireplace that my dad put a wood burning stove in that, and then he drilled a hole in the wall, tapped into the chimney in the living room, and then we put another wood burning stove type thing in the living room. So needless to say, I've cut a lot of firewood in my day. So when I started a tree service, we decided to start splitting wood again, and we actually had Bono's in Jacksonville, Florida. We had all their accounts, so each account was doing close to a cord a week. So we were doing anywhere from 10 to 15 cords a week of firewood. And needless to say, when you're splitting firewood and you're delivering firewood, basically what I was doing is of course, when you go to the dump and dump your wood off, it was costing me, for each truckload of wood, it was like $60 to dump it, and then $30 for fuel, and then wear and tear on the truck, and the cost of the labor to pay someone to do it. And it was like an hour, probably about, I'd say an hour and a half round trip, plus time it takes to fuel up, because they'd have to stop and fuel if they made more than one trip a day. So instead of doing that, I took the money that I was paying out to the dump and fuel and delivery, and I was paying the guys to split it. So basically, it was kind of like, instead of paying out the funds to someone else, I was paying my own guys to split it. So we're keeping it in the family. And then we were selling like a small dump trailer full of wood. I think it was like for pretty close to a cord per store, and I think it was around 200, 220, 225 a cord delivered and stacked. So basically, by the time I got done paying everybody, it was kind of like a wash. So basically, all it was doing was promoting the business. We had some trucks that had signage on it, and of course, we got to be known for, good quality firewood. And I figured out that there wasn't really much money in the firewood. So We have we used to have about 2 or 3 log splitters, and I found out that the kinetic energy log splitters were better and faster and more productive. And then for the bigger wood, what we do is we have a makeshift log splitter that we built and augmented. It was a 3-point hitch splitter. We turned it into a splitter you can put on a skid steer, and it has a 4-way on it. So we pre-split the wood into a bin, and then we take that wood and split it into smaller pieces into another bin, and then that's it. And then the forklift moves it around. And what we do is we sell firewood by the wheelbarrow. So it's $20 a wheelbarrow, you know, give or take. You know, the pieces are different sizes, but I found out that is the most lucrative way. And I still don't see how these guys on YouTube are making money by, one of the guys said that he was buying the rough lumber for $100 a cord. So if you have $100 a cord before you even start, before you even cut it up, before you even buy the fuel, buy the equipment, pay somebody to deliver it, plus the fuel to deliver it, I just don't see how they're making any money. The only way you could possibly make money is a huge volume. You would have to do hundreds of cords, thousands of cords, and then still you got to consider the price of a firewood processor. The cheapest one that I've seen that was you can put on a skid steer is 10 grand. So some of the most efficient ones are I think it's a Repeato Loco. One of my guys I knew bought one. It was like 60,000 plus, depending on what setup you have. So, when you're using a firewood processor, I noticed that most of the people that use them, they buy their logs, and most of them are they're buying wood that's real easy to split and real straight. It's almost like it's basically meant to split. Most of the wood that we cut down in Florida in our tree service would not work on a processor. Yeah, there's some that are straight, some that aren't knotty, but most of the wood that we cut down from rotten or dead trees or trees that need to be removed, first of all, we do cut down trees like sweet gum, which is impossible to split and you don't want to split. We do cut down some live oak, which is almost impossible to split. But we do cut down mostly water oak. And, there's magnolia and sycamores and stuff like that you can't use. So basically we're stuck with some maple, some blackjack or turkey oak, water oak, and every once in a while hickory. But 90% of what we use is water oak, which can be very hard. It can be knotty, and it can be not so straight. So it's kind of hard to have the perfect size wood to put on a processor. That's why I never bought one. I've basically been going around it. But I just I never heard anybody voice their opinion on basically splitting firewood and firewood processing. And just to let people know that firewood processors are great if you have perfect wood, in a perfect diameter and not so knotty and soft, so you can split, especially these guys that are splitting more than 4 ways. I see guys splitting 6 and 8 ways on these splitters, and it's coming out like butter. There's no way, I guarantee you, you bring any one of those machines down and throw some of the wood on that we have that's all knotted up and not straight, there would be a problem, because the guy that had one of those really expensive ones, he wanted me to give him straight wood, and I just, there is no perfect wood unless you buy it perfect for the processor. So I don't know, I just wanted to air out my thoughts and let people know that, just because you see somebody on YouTube, they're buying all this equipment and making firewood, it's a pretty good chance they already have the money, or somebody's donating some equipment, or they have enough money where they don't really need to have a firewood business. They're basically just doing it, for leisure, and then it ends up making money in the long run. But if you add up all the firewood processor equipment they have and buying the wood, I mean, consider if you, one of these guys is, a lot of them have never even been in the tree service. They just basically buy a log splitter, they start splitting wood, and just your cheapest log splitter is like $1,000. A decent chainsaw is like $200 or $300. And just with those two things alone, you're not going to be able to process. You probably take you 4 or 5 hours just to, if steady getting it with help, to make a cord of wood. And then it's going to take you, X amount of time to deliver that wood. So say, for example, if you don't have a tree service and you're buying the stuff and it's costing you $100 a cord, and then you spend 5 or 6 hours splitting it and cutting it up, and then another however long, an hour or half an hour or 2 hours delivering it and stacking it, plus the fuel it takes to deliver it, and then whoever you're paying to help you. So if you're selling a cord of wood for, say $200-250, you subtract the $100 that you bought it for, so you're left with $150. And then you take away your fuel and the time and effort that it took you to split it and deliver it. So basically, if you do the math, you're really making like $10 an hour, if you're lucky. So I don't know. It's just it doesn't add up on paper to me. The only reason we do it is because we get paid to get the wood. We already have the equipment to pick up and move the wood around. We already have chainsaws because we have a tree service, and I already had the skid steers to run the hitch that I have and the piece of equipment to split the wood. The only thing we bought additionally was a kinetic energy log splitter. I've had it for 8 years, and we've split a lot of wood on it. And the guys usually fill in the days, like our day off or rain days, or extra time we have at the shop by splitting the wood. So everything is absorbed. A lot of the costs are absorbed through the tree service. And we're not renting any place. Everything's done with the extra space we have at our shop. So, and we're still not making that much money on firewood. It's just basically paying the guys on their days off, and basically most of the money that we make is going right back into buying more chains, buying new splitters, taking the money and basically going gathering up more IBC totes and stuff like that. So it takes a while to accumulate any type of decent income off firewood, even if you're doing it in volumes. So anyway, not to try to discourage you guys, but just don't get your hypes up when you look at all these people that are just starting out splitting firewood, and they have anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000, $50,000 worth of firewood splitting equipment, new tractors, new skid steers, brand new saws, all this stuff, brand new trucks, brand new dump trailers. It doesn't come overnight. It's something that a lot of these guys just do on the side, or they're getting sponsored, or they do it on their leisure. They have a good retirement package or something. But honestly, if I was retired and I didn't have a tree service, and I didn't get free wood, and I didn't get paid to get wood, there's no way I'd spend $250,000 on equipment to split firewood and deliver it. It doesn't make any sense unless that's what you love to do and that's your passion, is to split firewood. Anyway, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews on my little spiel about cutting firewood and making money selling firewood. It's not for everybody. So do your research, do the math, and figure it out on paper before you go out and spend all this money on equipment to split firewood. Have a great day.